They say the blood of the Palladians carries the stars. From the moment I first held a sword at 6 years old, I knew my life was not my own. It was pledged to the universe. On Palladium, the sacred duty of protection is not a choice but a birthright. I remember the lessons drilled into me by my father, a veteran of countless battles. The stronger your heart is attuned to righteousness, the stronger your body and mind will become. At first I thought it was just a saying, a piece of wisdom to keep a child focused. But as my training progressed, I realized it was literal truth. Each time I acted with honor, chose courage over fear, or upheld justice over expediency, I felt power flow into me. My strikes became sharper, my senses keener. By the time I was 12, I could leap across chasms, shatter boulders with my fists, and wield Palladium's sacred energy. Yet my elders reminded me that strength alone was insufficient. Wisdom, restraint, and compassion would determine whether I was truly worthy of protecting the universe. At 16, I faced the trials, a rite of passage for all who wished to serve as protectors. These were no mere tests. They were battles against the beasts and monstrosities that haunted the fringes of creation. Each trial was designed not only to test my skill, but to push me to the edge of despair and force me to confront who I truly was. The first trial pitted me against the Shivern, a six-headed serpent from the Shadow Realms. Each head struck with venomous speed, but it was their hypnotic whispers that almost undid me. The beast preyed on doubt, forcing me to face my deepest fears. I silenced it not with strength, but with unwavering focus and faith in my purpose. The second trial was the Rothar beast, a mountain-sized creature whose hide was impenetrable to ordinary weapons. Here, I learned ingenuity, channeling my energy into a single strike. I pierced the creature's heart by finding the smallest crack in its armor. The final trial was perhaps the most harrowing. An endless horde of spectral warriors, each one a mirror of my own flaws and failures. For 3 days and nights I fought, not with anger or desperation, but with a steady resolve. Only when I embraced the imperfections within myself did the specters dissolve, leaving me victorious. Returning to Palladium as a champion, I entered the competition for the crown. Thousands came to test their mettle. Only the strongest, most righteous, and most cunning could hope to ascend the throne. In the final stages, I faced 4 opponents whose names are now legend. 1. Kael'thar the Stormcaller, a master of elemental manipulation. Kael'thar summoned lightning and hurricanes to overwhelm his foes. I defeated him by turning his own power against him, redirecting his lightning strikes with precise timing and forcing him to exhaust himself. 2. Lyria, the Shadow Dancer. Her ability to vanish and strike from the shadows was unmatched. Yet, I discovered her pattern, using light to disrupt her movements and forcing her into a corner where she could no longer hide. 3rd Dravos Ironheart. His strength was unparalleled, and his armor impenetrable. But Dravos was slow and predictable. I used speed and strategy to disarm him, exploiting his overconfidence to claim victory. 4th, Syrian the Flame Sovereign. The final opponent was my greatest challenge. Syrian's control over fire was so complete that it seemed he had become one with it. The battle lasted for hours, each of us testing the other's limits. In the end, I prevailed by channeling righteousness into a final strike that extinguished his flames and won the respect of all who watched. When I claimed the crown, I vowed to honor the legacy of Urim, the first king, while forging a new path for our people. As king, I analyzed the flaws in our training and succession systems. Too much depended on chance and personal connections. I envisioned a structured system to ensure that all Palladians, regardless of background, could realize their potential. I divided Palladium into regions, establishing academies where tailored training could be given to the young. Each region held its own tournaments, culminating in a grand competition to determine the best among them. The final 16 contenders would fight for the throne, ensuring that our leaders were not just warriors, but paragons of character and strategy. Even after establishing this system, I continued my own cultivation. Righteousness not only strengthened the body and mind, but extended life itself. I discovered techniques to unlock untapped potential, teaching others to reach what I called the essential stages of development. Those who achieved it could live for 500 million years, serving the universe with wisdom born of eons. I named this stage Stellar Custodian. To those who reached it, the universe itself opened its secrets. Quadrants of the cosmos could be ruled by these ascended beings, each king or queen acting as a steward of harmony. Through dedication and unrelenting pursuit of righteousness, I extended my life to 2.5 billion years to the stage of Divine King. And then I transcended. My body became light, my essence merging with the universe itself. I write this not as a boast, but as a guide. My journey is but one of many paths that future generations of Palladians will walk. The systems I've created, the wisdom I've passed on, are not the end, but the beginning. May you, who read these words, rise beyond what I have achieved. May you discover new heights, greater truths, and deeper righteousness. For the universe is vast, and its protection requires all of us to shine as brightly as the stars from which we were born. Ithiel, the Second King of Palladium.
There can only be one of me. There can only be one of me. Can only be one of me. I know it's plain to see, if you deny, there can only be one of me. Tell me what you're looking for, baby, it ain't out there. Chasing shadows when you know I'm the one who cares. I'm the vibe, I'm the truth, yeah, you feel it too. You can't replace me, I'm the rhythm you move to. There can only be one of me. Can only be one of me. Can only be one of me. I know it's plain to see, if you deny, there can only be one of me. Don't